This is Georgia Peach Peace Tea, which is funny because I live in Georgia, so Georgia peaches. Where's this stuff made? It's made in Atlanta, so it really is. There's a lot of different flavors, but I guess if it's made in Atlanta, you gotta use Georgia peaches. It's quite good. It doesn't make you burp like sparkling water does, though. Comes in a giant can. Hello there, heroes. I'm the Orange Ranger, and welcome to another Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel episode review. I had some mixed feelings going into this episode. The previous episode was actually fairly decent, but I knew from the previews that this was going to be an episode focused on Sarah and her technology, and so far those episodes haven't turned out the best. Let's just race in to the 7th episode of Super Ninja Steel, The Need for Speed. There is a gathering at the Summer Cove Cyclodrome, I guess, as Sarah is attempting to break the world speed record on her hoverboard. I do actually like this as the basis for the plot, as this is a goal that Sarah stated she had in the very first episode of the show. She takes to the track and is on pace to break the record when a mysterious second rider flies past her and beats her by a second. The record keeper declares that the mysterious rider broke the world record by 10 seconds, meaning Sarah herself broke it by about 8 or 9. The rider flies into some shrubs and then jumps back out, and it's Victor. Yay, he's finally won that 50th trophy. I wonder if it was really him on the hoverboard. As you might expect in an episode that's dealing with speed, Speedwing is the galactic ninja being sent down next. Isn't it funny how those things work out? I mean, could you imagine if they had sent down Rigor instead? Oh, and by the way, Wolverine is standing with the other galactic ninjas behind Speedwing, so I guess no harm, no foul for failing to defeat the Rangers. The Rangers are playing pool and Sarah's turn comes up. However, she asks somebody to take her turn and shoot for her since she's busy working on a new racing suit design. So, did she start playing the game with everyone else and then start doing this after her first turn? That's kind of rude, Sarah. Anyway, Victor is carried into the school with confetti and applause. I really don't think high school students would care this much about this niche of a record. However, Sarah and Victor have a very nice little face-off, which demonstrates very well just how scary Sarah can be when you piss her off. The Rangers head back to the track to test Sarah's new suit, and as she changes into it, they talk about just how into this she is. Yes, it's good to have goals, but Sarah's getting a little bit obsessed. She then walks out, cosplaying as an airplane. They start the test, and she is going faster, but of course she is wearing wings, so she takes off and flies into the air. And coincidence of all coincidences, she smacks right into Speedwing. They banter a bit before the Rangers morph, and the morph was weird to me this week. It wasn't quite a regular morph, and it wasn't quite an insta-morph. The Rangers just say ninja spin, we see the stars spin in the stock footage, and then they're just morphed. This really feels like it was cut down for time. Anyway, Speedwing actually has a sword very similar to the Rangers, even able to attach stars to it. He flies through them after attaching a speed star to his sword. The Rangers do manage to trip him with a vine attack. They really love that vine attack. They use it a lot if you think about it. And then they circle him for a finisher before he retreats. The Rangers demorph and leave, but Sarah sees the speed star on the ground and takes it with her. At the shop, she puts the speed star into her hoverboard, and it interfaces because of tech magic. Mix comes over to see what she's doing, and she tries to hide it, but he eventually gives her the spin move and sees it. She explains what it is and where it came from. Sarah says that technically it's not cheating, it's just new technology, an upgrade to her hoverboard. Mick says that using monster technology in Earth technology is really not a good idea since monster technology can be incredibly unpredictable. He gives her the moral of the day. Thankfully, just as a lesson this time without any of the sarcasm, that sometimes you can get so focused on a single goal that you lose track of everything else. Sarah wasn't really listening, to be honest, neither was I, and just says that she'll be careful. Back on the Warrior Dome, Speedwing apologizes to Wolverine for losing his Speed Star. Though, Wolverine was defeated by the Power Rangers and lost his Ninja Medallion, so I'd imagine it's water under the bridge. Anyway, Odious and Cosmo come in and show them that Sarah took it. Sarah has the world record crew back out for another attempt at breaking Victor's record. Using the Speed Star, this time she easily breaks the record and takes Victor's trophy. Though I think they would just make her a new one. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Mick is extremely sanctimonious about this, even though his moral to her was a warning about safety, not a warning to not cheat. He stares her down after she wins, and then when Preston hands him the trophy to look at it, he acts like he's going to drop it or throw it away. Then Speedwing attacks and tells Sarah that she probably only broke the record because of his Speed Star. She's forced to admit to the other Rangers that she did take and use the star. They're shocked at first, but say that they have better things to do right now. Speedwing isn't as fast without the Speed Star, but he's still more than fast enough to walk through the Rangers and take the star back from the hoverboard. However, Sarah's not going to let him use it again, shooting it. It flies back over to the Rangers, because that's how physics works, and embeds in Brody's helmet. He's fine, but the star is malfunctioning, and it starts pumping his legs and forcing him to run. Fair warning, this next section of the episode is more than a bit goofy, which is something I'm going to touch on later. Brody starts running really fast and even ramps out of the cyclodrome. Preston says that he'll chase Brody using his Dragon Zord while the other four battle Speedwing. They do and manage to get him to retreat for a little bit, and Sarah says that this is all her fault. I don't really see how, though. If she had done the right thing and taken the star back to the base to have Mick analyze it, then Speedwing would either be attacking the base or would have just attacked Sarah anyway to get it back from her. You could say that she could have just destroyed it, but look at what happened when she did actually shoot it. After the Rangers moralize at Sarah a bit more, they check in with Preston and Brody. Preston has Brody run into a nearby alley, hoping that running into a wall can stop him, but it doesn't. However, since Brody can control where he's going, Sarah gets an idea. They catch back up with Speedwing and start fighting him again, though he keeps walking through them just like he was before, but then Sarah hears Brody approaching. She distracts Speedwing with another vine attack, and then Brody headbutts the star into his back. Now he starts running out of control and the Rangers give chase, doing an odd roll call while running around the monster. Brody goes Lion Fire, which everybody announces for some reason. The Rangers each slash the monster as he runs by, and then Brody finishes him off. He gets gigantified, Brody summons the Lion Fire Megazord, and the other Rangers form the Ninja Fusion Megazord. They have the monster penned in at first, but then he takes to the skies. Brody takes the Lion Fire back into Zord mode, he shoots the monster down, and then the Rangers finish it off. Funny enough, this time the Ninja Medallion flies directly to Madame Odious. Maybe attracted to the other one? On the Warrior Dome, she tells Badana that she has 2 of them now. Badana says if she could get her hands on all 4, the ninja power inside would allow her to unleash her secret plan, and the world would be doomed. So Madame Odious has another scheme cooking up. The world record crew is gathered yet again, I hope they had a hotel in the area or something, to see Victor try to break Sarah's record. But this gives Sarah the opportunity to make things right, I guess? She announces that while she may not have been cheating, she still doesn't feel that she won the award honestly, so she's giving the trophy back. The record keeper announces that this means Victor's record will stand, and he springs back out to reclaim his trophy from the side of a bush, wearing bush camouflage. As Victor tries to explain what he's wearing, Monty walks out pushing a mannequin on the hoverboard, claiming that it's Victor. So yes, surprise, surprise, the two of them were cheating by using a light-as-air mannequin on a remote-controlled hoverboard. After it wins, it steers into the bushes, Victor leaps out and looks like he was riding the whole time. The record keeper snatches the trophy back, calling them frauds, and chases them away with their own hoverboard. Victor has a hoverboard. Sarah has a hoverboard. Stars time. Episode 7. The Need for Speed. Pros: good characterization from Sarah, nice location shots at the cyclodrome, and Sarah's assets. Cons: uninteresting plot, muddled moral, and the ninja effect. Super Ninja Steel's scoreline is looking like a seismograph during a small earthquake. The Need for Speed gets 2 stars out of 5. I really don't mean to keep coming up with conditional praise for Super Ninja Steel. It's just something that happens. When Sarah was mad, we saw her be fierce, angry, pissy, and kind of a beach, but spelled differently if you follow me. We saw her be sad, determined, sweet, regretful, shady. She had a very good range. The only thing is that reflects that her character has absolutely no consistency, and Sarah is perhaps the worst example of these writers' tendency to just stick one of the Rangers with a bad character trait or have them do something incredibly out of character just to serve a particular plot. It's always interesting to see the Rangers in new locations, and Super Ninja Steel seems to have a focus on dragging the Rangers away to the high schools for more location shots. The cyclodrome is actually a pretty unique location, so even though the hoverboarding itself was kind of mediocre green screening and CGI, it was nice overall. And listen, I am not the type of reviewer that would constantly bring this up. Yes, even though in an award show I did include a category for Most Attractive Female Ranger. I try to avoid mentioning these things in most cases. But for this episode, I was honestly absolutely out of ideas for a third pro, and this was the only thing that came to mind. It was something I could stretch for. Sarah spends much of this episode in a tight-fitting spandex racing suit, and as anyone who follows Christy on social media knows, the girl is kind of a workout freak, so yeah, she looks good. They have snuck in the occasional butt shot of Sarah before. They know what they're working with. I feel like I may have mentioned this before, but for these seasons in particular, I'm discovering a flaw, and perhaps the fatal flaw of them. They care far more about the people than the Power Rangers. The hoverboard speed record thing was the main, heavy, primary focus of this episode, and I did not care. Meanwhile, we have a speed-themed monster who actually seems to be a threat to the Rangers with a power that they can't really counteract, and his main contribution to the plot was to apply to the hoverboard thing. I mean, for goodness sake, Sarah literally runs into him to kickstart that part of the story. It just makes me miss seasons like Time Force, SPD, RPM, where their battle against evil was the primary aspect of who they were. They had other things going on in their lives, sure, but the Ninja Steel Rangers, and by the way, screw calling them the Super Ninja Steel Rangers like they did in this episode. There's no reason for them to change that name. It just feels like fighting evil for them is an after-school activity. I mean, heck, there was an episode last season where Sarah created holographic clones of herself to join more clubs, and Power Rangers was treated like an after-school activity. And once again, the episode seems to have a lot of trouble figuring out what its moral is. Mixed Message to Sarah was about obsession clouding your judgment. And yes, that can apply to him judging the crud out of her for cheating to win the record, but in the shop, he was talking more about putting herself in danger to win the record. Sarah was not even really cheating, to be honest with you. She happened upon a new form of technology that upgraded her hoverboard to make it go faster. I was discussing this with someone on Twitter recently, and I said that it was kind of like a friend of hers suddenly telling her about a new diet pill she found, so she could drop 10 pounds quickly and go that much faster. I just had trouble figuring out, was the moral of this episode don't cheat to win, or don't let obsession endanger you? Or was it hang out with your friends like they tacked on right at the end? And this episode is a shining example, perhaps the best example thus far, of my deepest concern when Ninja Steel was announced. The impact of the Sentai footage. A good portion of this episode centers on Brody and then the monster running like they can't find a bathroom. When Brody ramped off the bank in the cyclodrome and Team Rocket blasted off again, I did laugh, but it was out of shock that they even used that. Overall, this episode left me with a really sad feeling on a lot of different fronts, but I think I can crystallize it into a single thought. This stretch of episodes feels like the point where the writers just kind of gave up. Stop fighting the goofiness of the Sentai footage. Just let it be goofy Sentai footage. Stop trying to mix and match music from other seasons and just give people Mighty Morphin Power Rangers music, since that's apparently what they want anyway, judging by Twitter reactions especially. Just make the show a true action comedy like Nickelodeon apparently wants, when Power Rangers is capable of being so much more than that. And here we stand, on the doorstep of summer for the world, but winter for Power Rangers. Let's take a look at how the show dives into its hiatus with a peek at the 8th episode of Super Ninja Steel, Caught Red-Handed. Brody is accused of stealing something from one of his teachers. Truly, we are in for a cliffhanger of epic proportions. That's going to do it for another Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel episode review. Thank you folks so much as always for watching. Make sure to like the video by clicking the like button right down below. In the comments below, let me know what you thought of this episode and of my review of it. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel to see all of my videos, and ring that bell, get your notifications set up, so you get notified of whenever I post brand new videos, just like this Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel episode review. Make sure to tune in next week, by the way, because not only will I be reviewing the episode, but I will also be announcing the theme and a rough schedule, you guys know how that goes, for the hiatus videos. And if you really loved this review and wanted to contribute a little bit financially, you could head over to digitaltipjar.com/orangerangervid, toss a little bit of money in my tip jar, and I'm grateful for whatever lands in there. Until next time, heroes, may the power protect you. Back on the Warrior Dome, streak over. Preston says that he will give chase on his Preston has Brody try a nearby alley, hoping they each super lion fire farts, where they each announce their role while they're running past him in the world record keeper takes the record trophy farts.